Are we?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hey.
It's the better
Hi.
way to do it.
It's,
Hello, everybody.
It's not really spring in Wisconsin today.
Yeah.
I have a sweater and a long sleeve shirt on, so.
Yeah, so it kind of went, how did it go? It went, winter was all spring.
Yeah, and then we had
then,
this brief summer.
Yep.
A week.
Yep. It
And
was
then,
no, hold on. It went nice.
Nice. Okay.
Then it went too hot.
Yes. Yes. And now.
And now it's going to be Halloween tomorrow, is what it feels like.
Yeah, it does.
Right? You go outside, it's like a November feel. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Stitch Brothers. And this week, I'm back.
Yay! Yeah.
Been doing a lot of training lately. We actually added quite a few people. Something was in the air, or something. I don't know what it is. In the ether was released, but everybody who was thinking about buying a long arm went ahead and in the month of April bought a long arm.
Pulled the trigger.
Yep.
All right.
April, May. So we've been doing a lot of training. We can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do, and one of the things I think really set us apart.
Oh God, yeah.
For the long arm stuff. So it's good to see you all. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
I see some people in the chat already, which is really, really good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I will take a moment to do the same thing I do every time, which says is to encourage you to ask questions. Make this interactive, okay? Please. We need to fill up some time, and we like it to be where, we can.
It's useful.
Yes, it is. It's more fun too when you put us on the spot.
Yeah.
I guess to a degree. Don't get crazy. Call me about this, if
it's really complicated, don't, we don't need you typing for half an hour to get to where you need to be.
Yeah. Comment. Let's make this interactive. We have some cool things to show off today. I have an amazing deal.
Oh, yeah. This is like a long arm.
It's a good deal.
Long arm.
I have a good deal. I have a good deal on a used trade-in, and we'll get to that. But if there's somebody who's, on a budget but always dreamed about having a long arm, this one, it's not a Bernina, but I will say in the top 3 or so brands, it's one of them. The hint is it's made in America.
Hey,
At least I think so. I believe it is. That's the rumor.
Yeah, the rumor.
But we have a great machine that we're going to show off here that one of our customers traded in on their purchase of a Q24. So we'll get to that.
Yep.
Barb's got a few things.
Yep.
So let's just get. I want to get through this announcement really here, because there's I don't know if you guys did it last week. Did you announce the 570 deal?
Jake, I believe, did.
Okay.
But yeah, you loud and clear. We got to say this once again.
Yeah, we
loud
had people come and take advantage of it, which is great. And so Bernina's running a May savings event, and the 570 QE, which is sort of that in between the 475 and the 770, which is right in the meat and potatoes of what we do here at Primitive Gatherings. That machine is on sale for $3,499.
And that just blows me away, because what's the MSRP on that?
It's like
over $5.
It's $5,000, but we sell them. I want to say our normal everyday sale price, off the top of my head, is like $46. It's like $45.99 or something like that, or $44.99, $45.
So this is an incredible.
It's like an extra $1,000 off the sale price.
Yeah, and it's a great machine. It'll go through a lot of stuff. I've used it here in the shop, but I've also seen people with it at retreats, and it's a great retreat machine because it's not too heavy, but it'll do everything. You can do,
if you could only have one.
Yeah.
Right? If you could only have one. If you need a machine that you can take to retreat and so on, if you need a machine to do a small embroidery quilt label.
Yeah.
If you need, if it uses a BSR, it doesn't come with it anymore. That is one thing that they changed.
Yeah.
I want to say over a year ago now.
Over a year
lady
ago.
who bought one, who is it now? You got to take this one, Barb?
It's Heart and Vascular. I better take this one.
Barb's got to take this one. Yeah. Does everyone want to listen to Barb's conversation with the doctor? I'm going to scoot over to the middle here because I feel weird about sitting on the side if it's just me. So, where was I? 570. So the 570 is kind of like the Goldilocks machine in that Quilter's Edition range, meaning 475, 570, 770, and it really can do everything. It can do a little bit of embroidery, not as much as like a 770 as far as size, but it can do that. It can do the travel duty. You know, it's not as heavy as a 770, not quite as light as a 475, but it's really a good dual machine. So we're really excited about that offer. When I saw that offer, I thought like maybe I had to call Bernina to figure out if they owe me money if you buy one, because I'm a little bit confused at how good of a deal that is. So that is in the month of May, and I suggest that you really do yourself a favor and take advantage of that if you're looking for a machine. So let's see here. Explain the straight stitch. I can talk about the straight stitch machine. Yep. Okay. The weight on it, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I know it's fairly reasonable. I mean, all Berninas are kind of heavy. Just because they're metal on the inside. You know, they got the plastic covers that make them look nice or whatever, but underneath it is a architecture of metal, and that's what you want for that durability and the power and all that stuff. So you want that, but the downside is it's not going to be as light as some of those like Burnett's, you know, that are like 11 pounds. But here's the thing is those are, it's like buying a disposable razor versus everything good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Barb's back. We can continue. Is she unmuted?
Okay.
Oh, back on.
All right.
So I just kind of did a little wrap up on the 570.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's see here. I saw we had a couple questions already about the straight stitch machine. Explain the new straight stitch only machine. So the new straight stitch is the Bernina B08, and it was by far and away, even though the 990 was incredible, and it's, you know, for people that are looking for that top of the line machine, like that's incredible. But as far as like for us here personally, the B08 was the machine of the year last year.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I think we had over. I think we shipped like 90 of these things. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a lot.
You know, Bernina really needed that straight stitch only machine in their sort of repertoire.
Yes,
right?
yes.
See, I said it like a French. Is it French? I don't know. Anyway, and it really just filled a specific niche that people, especially fans of primitive gatherings, need. And that's like if you're doing a 1/4 inch, and that's all you do is piece. Or you have another machine to do your embroidery and all that stuff, and you're just piecing. Yeah, this will segue into you nicely. Yes. But anyways, for the price, which is $2,000, I believe maybe the price might have just went up a little bit because of the tariff stuff. But we still have some, so I'll have to look at it. But they're $2,000, and they're fast, and they're industrial, and the bobbin is 40% bigger than comparable machines like a Juki 2010 or 2020, whatever that TL series is. That's really, really great. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm a Bernina person. I don't know.
But you know, it's a machine that compares to like the Juki, which we've loved here for a long time, only better in every way.
Oh, it's better.
So it's a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, bigger bobbin, some what do you want to say, quality of life features like an independent bobbin winder, so you can wind the bobbin without rethreading the machine. Needle down, needle up. I mean, it's just very, very basic. But out of the 90 some or whatever that we shipped, I think we had one issue where one of the knee lifts was weird, and we had to do it. But we had to send her a new knee lift.
I think that's where my knee lift went.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I had to steal Barb's to make the lady who lived in Hawaii, so we wanted to make it right for her. I remember that.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, it's like been radio silence from these people.
Oh yeah.
So and that's good in a way. I mean, not that I don't want to talk to you guys, but like, you know, when you send out that many of
something, you're thinking somebody's going to say something.
But the issue with that machine is it's like 34 pounds or something.
Yeah, something like that.
That one's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's the weight of a 7 series, even though it's a little bit smaller than a 7 series. It's all metal outside.
Yeah, all metal inside. Yeah.
But that's the deal with the Bernina. Why don't you just take it away?
I'll just do my little, because we had a question some time ago, and I said I would get on it, and I did, but not in a timely manner. So I am sorry if somebody remembers this. We were talking about the 1/4 inch seam, and she thought that her needle position was odd, and but she was getting her 1/4 inch. And it was like, I took a look at my machine at home. I took a look at the one downstairs, and we'll take a little look at a couple pictures. Now, this was this morning. I have the 1/4 inch foot on. It is on the edge of the fabric, and the needle looks like it's not centered between those two tongues. But when I sew, next picture, please, I get, that's a little skewed. Let's go to the next one. When I sew, it's like perfect 1/4 inch seam. And if we open the seam up and lay it out, it's like a perfect 1/4 inch seam. So if you're looking at your machine and you think it looks a little odd, it's not. It's going to produce that 1/4 inch seam religiously, but your needle may not be exactly in the middle of your foot. And
You know what's kind of weird about that machine is
what?
that needle hole is like an oval.
It's, yeah.
So I wonder, like, sometimes when you look at it,
It
like
looks,
looks weird. It does
looks
look weird,
odd,
you know.
but it produces a perfect 1/4 inch seam. So if I've gotten the person who had that question some time ago, I hope that's informative for you, because I've tried a couple of different machines and looked at the 1/4 inch, and it's, you're using the 1/4 inch foot, you have your needle where it's supposed to be. I mean, the needle doesn't move on this machine. Like on some of the zigzag machines, you can take the needle and kind of wiggle it because it does a zigzag, and that needle bar is meant to move. On this machine, it is not meant to move.
Nothing moves. The feed dogs don't even move. That's why when you do, if you did want to do like some free motion quilting or whatever, in order to drop the feed dogs don't move. They just give you a thicker stitch plate, and that covers the feed dogs. And I think that lack of, you know, removing any complication by needing those feed dogs to move is what adds to the robustness of that.
And the accuracy.
You know,
it just goes straight. And I did this seam stuff this morning, and I can put the pedal to the metal, and it's so much fun.
So one of my demos that I do for anyone who asks about the machine who comes in here, if anyone asks, I think I have like a 99% rate of when I show someone the machine, they buy it.
Yeah.
Who comes in to look at it. You know, they're already kind of interested. And the reason is this. I'm not a piecer. I do not go home after quilting and piece things. I don't do that. I quilt while I'm here. When I go home, I go fishing. I do other things.
Right.
Okay. But when I sit down on that machine feeds so straight that what I like to do is I like to use the 1/4 inch foot, and I'll run it through once, and then I'll just, while I'm talking to the person, I'll just keep running it through, and then I'll start like no handsing it, where the fabric is like coming into that guide on the foot and then turning. And as soon as it hits it, it turns exactly, it doesn't twist like on some of the other Berninas, frankly, that do zigzags because of the feed dogs being wide, whether it's 5.5 or 9.
9, yeah.
It has a tendency to kind of twist that fabric, and it can be hard to do a perfect straight stitch. You know, this machine sacrifices the ability to do anything else that Bernina can do, but for straight stitch, I can sit there and like no hands do the exact same stitch, where then when you look at the piece, it's like one line.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like I really am good at what I do. But
it's the machine. The machine is really just meant to do straight stitching, and that's what it does very well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So it does one thing, and it does it well.
All right, I have a 990 a B08 and an L890 a serger.
Well, you got to be flexing on everybody.
And in the last couple of weeks, when I can finally walk through my sewing room, the B08 is.
That's the one you got out?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I've been using the embroidery module on the 990.
Yeah.
So it's set up for embroidery. So, but yeah, the B08 is.
B08 is sweet for what it does.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything else though. So it might not be your only machine. If you want to do anything else, any like, you know, the, you know, practical stuff for like repairing or mending or anything you need a zigzag or a decorative or anything you can't do.
Nope.
But yeah. All right. Can you go up a little bit, Kaylee? Because I saw there's a couple up a little bit more. There was somebody who said how fast. The new straight stitch machine, it's 1600 stitches. It's fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they wanted to, whether or not, I mean, we didn't run it next to like a Juki or whatever to do like a comparison, but according to the spec sheet, it's faster. Now,
Yeah.
all you need to know is it's just about as fast as you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're both the same, really, effectively, but obviously on the spec sheet they wanted to, because it's a new machine, so they obviously wanted to do that.
Highlight.
And the price is $1,999, I believe, unless it just went up. Is it the 16th yet? Yeah, it's past that. It's way past that. Okay, so it might have went up a couple $100, but give me a call and we'll see what the deal is on that. And then as far as the walking, now is that the right number? Did we find something? I don't know. Okay. If that doesn't work for whatever reason, we're having some phone issues, which is kind of new. You can email us at bernina@primitivegatherings.us. Can anyone actually, if you're there, has anyone had any weird phone issues? If you've tried to call, comment, because I just was made aware of something when I came back from vacation on Monday. And
it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of like a glitch in the Matrix type thing where it's kind of weird.
Like.
So, and then the walking foot, it doesn't come with one. There is one, and I know off the top of my head, I want to say it's $159.99. It's hard to keep everything straight, but it's cheaper than the Bernina walking foot, but it's still an expensive little accessory.
Yes, but it's very helpful.
All right, can we go back to Jen?
Yep. Sorry, I just wanted to, while we were on that. Aurifil Clear is what we use, and it's the best. Anything else? Can I use a walking foot on the Q16? Nope.
Sorry.
Nope, there's no feed dogs on the Q16. That's it? Okay, so what else do you have? Did you have anything else?
Co-classes. We have July is full. August, I think there's one or two. October, there may be a few openings. So if you are interested in making a quilted coat, I suggest that you call over to the gathering and talk to the ladies over there about the availability of space in those classes. They do fill. I'm sure that nobody's asked me about next year yet, but I'm pretty sure that somebody's going to tap me on the shoulder soon and say, hey, what about next year? Because once we get past October, it gets busy with holiday stuff, and we don't want to overload people, right? So other than that.
So speaking of that timeline, though, if you're going to talk about that, let's talk about the fact that once again, the Madison Quilt Show is coming up.
Yeah.
So first week of September, I think it's the 3rd through the 6th, if my memory serves me. I was just on the website actually looking at that, but again, that is coming up quickly. And once again, we are sponsoring the classroom there. So if anyone is interested in like a Q16, like Sherry there had commented about, we have a classroom where we have 10 machines. And I think if it's the same as last year, I think we have a different educator this year. We had the same one for a few years. So we'll have a different lady coming in. I haven't seen what the class she's teaching is going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be great. All the Bernina educators are great.
Yeah, they all
and
are very knowledgeable.
If it's the same as last year, they do 2 a day. So there's like an AM and an afternoon class that was like from 9 to, just before lunch or something.
Yeah.
And then from 1 or 1:30 to just before the buses leave.
Yeah.
And there's 2 a day and then 1 on that Saturday. So if that's the same, but I was looking at the details and I don't know if you can sign up yet, but I'll let you guys kind of give you guys a heads up and be ready if you're interested in signing up. If you want to get a hands-on, you can always come here, and set up an appointment and we'll show you that machine. But if you want to take a class, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
So that is once again already coming up, which is crazy. Like the year is like half.
I know. How'd that happen?
I don't know. I do not know.
But okay.
All right, we got a question here from Kelly, it looks like. Barb, I'll let you take this one.
What thread works best for? Oh, okay. All right, lint. Yeah, that's a I can't say big issue, but it's an issue with threads. And I know a lot of my friends really like connecting thread because it's not real expensive, but it is linty. Orifil, on the other hand, is expensive, but it's not linty. I have a lot of Presentia, which is not a real common thread in quilt shops, but I was once with Harriet Hargraves and her daughter did her master's thesis on threads, and her conclusion was Presentia was the best. So that's where I got my information. Typically, a lot of the people that I know use the Orifil because it doesn't leave a lot of lint. It's really, it seems to be thin, but it is a 50 weight. So that's, I know some people say that they have trouble with Orifil in their Bernina. If that's the case, if you're having trouble with the thread that you're typically using, like Gutermann or Sulky or one of those other threads, try an Orifil. If you're having trouble with Orifil, try another type of thread.
Orifil's linty. We really like the finished look of it, you know, especially for quilting. If I'm using the cotton, I like the Orifil. But the issue is that you have to clean it. It will make a mess.
Yeah, but not as much of a mess as some others. I can
Really?
tell you. Oh yeah.
Like, I guess I've only really used Orifil.
Yeah.
For cotton.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I really have liked the
Superior?
The Superior. What have I been using? The Bottom Line.
Yeah, the
bobbin. The bobbin, I really like that.
Yes.
And I've liked
and that's a polyester.
Yeah, that's a poly. So so everything has its pros and cons. One of the things that I can't stand about those really thin, slick threads is winding a bobbin is like a pain in the butt. Like, I have to wind it, and then you do like a little technique where on your onboard bobbin winder, it goes off the spool up, it goes one guide back down to that little tension disc, which it will love to just pop out of anyways. And then you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you got to go on the inside to the thread cutter, and then that will. But it's hard for me to do that. Like, half the time I miss, and it's like, whereas Orifil, I just go 1, 2, 3, cut, bam.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So
getting it started.
There is positives and negatives. You gotta experiment and see what you can live with, what you can't.
Yeah.
You know, and just go from there. I will say that the Bernina should run everything. It should run everything as long as it's not old or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, right? Is you have some thread that's on a thread stand in your sewing room that gets direct sunlight for 12 hours a day, and you've had it there for 30 years, and then you're like, yeah, it doesn't like this thread.
Yeah, it won't. It won't ever.
Could be a lot of variables there.
Yes.
So.
All right.
What's next?
I don't know. Do we have any more?
Want to continue on this thread talk?
Okay.
Thread talk.
Okay. Cotton versus polyester.
We just named a few of them.
Yeah.
For quilting, for piecing.
Either. I know that a lot of people think that polyester is something that will cut the threads of the fabric, and that is like an old myth, kind of like invisible thread will cut your fabrics, and it's like, no, not the newer ones are engineered, so to speak, to be strong, color fast, but not strong enough to cut your fabrics.
You hear a lot of everything. I've heard everything from like nylon thread or invisible thread is brittle and breaks to I don't put it on baby quilts because it's so strong that if he gets his little tootsie in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I've heard everything when it comes to, you know, these types of discussions, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like if you choose a good brand, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Because like, for example, Orifil, Even though I've had some issues with some of their stuff too. Occasionally, I've had it where it wasn't wound on the spool well,
rail, yeah.
and a couple other things that were frustrating considering the cost of that. But that being said, like I trust that they're a quality brand. So whether it's an invisible or a cotton or whatever else, I just trust them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like Isacord for embroidery. That's what I use because that's what came with my Bernina. And that's what's been tested with the Bernina. So you kind of have to find what works well for your project. All right. Because sometimes we use the Isacord.
Coming on?
Ooh, we may have a guest.
Mystery guest, if anyone knows who this is. Anybody?
Anybody?
Did you talk about this?
Not yet.
No.
Actually, I don't know anything about it. We were looking for a cool background and it was here. So actually, it's good that you showed up.
All right, I can talk about this.
Talk about
Yay.
it. Talk about it.
This is a brand new pattern that we just released. It was our previous Osei Can You Sew 2 quilt that we had, but I have a new fabric line coming up.
Woo.
So that quarter tower and background, that's all this takes. So we will be promoting a bunch of these patterns that we ran previously because all of my American Gatherings 3 lines are interchangeable, right? I mean, yes, we're not going to have the same exact prints, but they're the same colors. So it's easily substituted in there. But this was such a fun quilt along. And we kind of dropped the ball and forgot that we never released it as a full pattern. So thanks to our loyal customers who's been waiting for it, we got it done now and it's out there for you. It is called something Sparkler. Right here. Summer Sparkler.
Don't you know it?
Hey, do you know how many names we
Actually,
have?
I
It's
looked.
the most hardest thing to do.
I looked at it down there. Actually, recently, I haven't been in pattern land for a while. But because I was there and we were in like PRI. What was
2054.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many, you
And
can.
some of those are books with 10, 12 quilts in them.
And
so
you're
I
using
can't
like
even,
the same 100 words to name everything.
Right,
like
yeah.
Penny,
So
flower,
Terry's
garden.
like, no more freedom this or
right,
patriotic
pumpkin,
that or American
fall.
this.
Yeah.
So it's getting a little tougher. So if you ever have any good names, please send them our way. Yeah. But isn't this beautiful? And just an FYI, we will have another American Gatherings 3 quilt along. We'll get you some more information on that before our pre-order sale goes down. But you can never have enough red, white, and blue fabrics, and all of mine work together. So if you already have 1 and 2, these you can have fun with them all. They I'm making several quilts that have all of them. Oops, I was eating my licorice, my red vine. I love red vines. But yeah, so isn't this beautiful?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm just passing through, proving some things and making noise over there because I didn't.
Do you have a
know guys
live
were on.
today or a video?
No, Thursday. My lives are on Thursday.
You
at
film
1
on Tuesdays
p.m.
sometimes, don't you?
1 p.m. What?
I thought you film on Tuesday sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, but you can tell by looking at me whether I film. Not today.
But we'll let her on anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just some days it matters and some days it doesn't.
Yeah.
When is the last date to pre-order this line of fabric?
You have like 6 weeks yet. We'll get that more concrete. I'll have Jess. We'll talk about that on Thursday. So watch me on Thursday. And hey, just a shout out, if you can like this video and subscribe and tell people about it,
Yeah,
that
we should
really
do that.
helps
We should
us.
have to
We
say that.
forget to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to say, hey,
Hey,
like this. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So,
No, it's
Okay,
not hard for
so-
me at all. Everybody here, like the video, please,
Yeah.
right now. Like it.
yeah,
All right.
like that we
Like it so you can support us so we can grow.
yes, we want to
Yeah.
Keep doing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a cute story about subscribe. I was having an injection in my back, and I was telling the people that were working around me that I was going to be on a
You
live.
tell them you were famous?
I did. I said I'm on a live, and they said, "Should we subscribe?"
You said yes,
And
in
I
the
said-
hospital.
Oh,
Yeah, we
I
should say
guess
that.
so.
Subscribe and like.
So I have
And go back to
nurses,
every other
anesthesiologists,
video.
And I know that
You
we're so
know.
busy, but we forget. You know what I mean? We forget when you really like something. Always support them, and even if you can't buy our stuff, just you liking or telling people about us, that helps too.
Yeah.
Right. So just know that even if you can't like purchase
Yeah,
all the time or
Yeah.
whatever, this helps us out as well.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure my anesthesiologist is not buying fabric, but
You don't care. We got his number. We're subscribed. Yeah.
Well, how it would work technically, right, would be the more it gets liked, the more it gets promoted, and then even if
They
you
move
don't,
us up.
and
Yeah.
if you don't want to buy something, maybe then it gets put in front of somebody else who is prepared to buy,
Right.
and they wouldn't have even heard about us.
Right,
Or
because
something.
here's what happened. So me and Jen Kingwell were talking at our Moda dinner during H&H, and she's like, "Do you know how these people get 1,000 or 100,000 views on their YouTube channels?" I'm like, "I don't know, Jen, but let's figure it out because it's, you know,
You pay for
they're
it.
doing no better than we do cool stuff, right? So
You
why
pay
isn't our
Facebook.
but it's because they're promoting themselves and they're sponsoring their posts and they're doing all this kind of stuff. And me and Jen, we're just quilters. We're not marketers. And some of these people are way better marketers and stuff like that than we are. But we forget to to help promote ourselves. So we're working on it. All right. So go and like Jen Kingwell's videos as well.
oh, I can't wait for her to come.
I know.
I know.
We're
Here,
gonna
use
have her
this
for
one.
2 weeks. Are you guys sharing? Okay. All right. I didn't plan on hanging out here. This one's not working? No. All right. You got a new one.
I got a new one.
Better?
All right.
Bigger,
Sorry
better.
about that.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my sister was here after my surgery, and it was wonderful. And I brought her out here to see everything, and she said, "Jen Kingwell's coming here?" I said, "Of course,
Yeah.
of course." So she said, "I'll come back." So my sister is coming back in August, and we're going to have a 4-day stay with Jen, and it's going to be wonderful.
Right. And she teaches this class is called All She Knows.
Yeah, and that's the one I'm
Who
in.
Wouldn't pay their left arm
Yeah.
to go sit with Jen Kingwell for a whole 4 or 5 days, whatever.
4
it is,
days.
and just just
Soak
glean
it up.
everything you can off
Soak
of
it
her.
up. Yeah.
I sent Barb a text last night. I really want to make this star pillow, but it has like an edge on it, around the star. So Barb's
Yeah.
going to help me do
I'm
that.
I'm doing the math. Well, actually,
Because I'm a flat person.
Terry
I'm
helped
not a
me.
dimensional person.
Terry helped me this morning, so
Okay.
yeah, we're working on
I
the
think
pattern.
14 inches is a good size,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching all these videos and helping us share everything. Good job, guys.
All right. Thanks for visiting.
Okay, what do we got left here? I know I have to still share this thing, and
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
leaving without sharing this because I carried it up the stairs.
Yeah, yeah. So you better.
So let's do that. Okay.
All right.
So for everybody who's tuning in now, if you weren't at the beginning, I mentioned how we had a customer who traded in a long arm because they joined our little family here, Q Series family, and got the best machine on the market,
Of
Q24
course.
Q-Matic, right?
Yes.
However, we take trade-ins, and we like trade-ins, and we understand that a lot of people who are buying, especially like a top-of-the-line Bernina, they usually have something else previously. So we want to facilitate the sale and help them disassemble theirs and whatnot. So we have a pretty good selection of used machines, and you're always welcome to call. It changes quickly, so we don't have it really posted. The best way is to call, me or send us an email. However, we get a lot of, handy quilters are popular,
Very popular,
because
yeah.
of the market share of them. And those are a great machine for the price. However, we got a machine from a lady who is super sweet lady. They came and bought a Q24, but she had this beautiful APQS Lucy, which is made in America here. I'm going to just lift this thing up, okay, because it's actually not quite as heavy as it looks here. But this thing is an incredible machine for the price that we are looking to get. Let me see, should I stop right here? an incredible machine. This thing is too big.
There.
Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So
I'm going over this one.
So APQS is a great brand. All right. I feel like I got to move this. I can't listen. I can't talk to nobody. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
Yeah. That's nice.
So I
Very
believe
clean.
this is a 24-inch machine. Yeah.
And
So
it's very clean.
Jake did the install and said the ladies, everything is just super clean, super immaculate. He's like, everything is super organized, and the machine is beautiful, in beautiful condition. APQS is a made in America company. So this is a great machine. And the frame itself is really, really nice. Very solid. And here's the deal. All right. We're looking to get $5,000 for this thing. Woo! So that is a price that you are not going to get if you want a made in America machine. Now, the one sort of peculiarity of this machine actually is it uses, and this could be a potential benefit, but this machine comes with the L size bobbin case. So it uses your standard sewing machine size bobbins. Now, we love a big bobbin, all right?
Yeah,
but if you have like a bunch of the pre-wound bobbins or something like that, that's interesting. And also, the lady who had this machine previously told me that for a actual really reasonable amount of money, you can change the hook to the M.
Oh.
So if you wanted to upgrade it to that, you could do that first, enough where this is still a really great deal. It's not, I don't know exactly what the price is. I don't want to be wrong. But if you don't mind that, I mean, it'll share that L size bobbin, which is a standard size.
Yeah, nice.
So that is the one sort of, I guess, peculiarity about this. Most long arms are M class.
Yes. Yeah, or bigger.
But yeah, this machine is in super good shape. This isn't going to be here very long. You are the first people to hear about this. And honestly, if somebody doesn't buy it from here, well, we might raise the price on this, because honestly, I want to turn it quickly. I don't want it to become a fossil, and I don't think it will.
No.
But yeah, so I wanted to show this again. Give us a call, send me an email if you're interested in this. This would be something that even if you lived a little bit further away, it'd be worth like loading up a trailer and coming getting it.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really neat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's 24 inch. It's big. I think it's 24 inches for sure. Do you have your little measurement?
Well, this is a fat quarter. Okay, so that's 22.
Yeah, it's 24.
Yeah.
It's 24.
Yeah.
So a 24-inch machine, that's a nice, this will be a great ruler work. This is what she did. The lady who bought it did a lot of really great ruler work.
Wow.
And she really loved the machine. She just wanted to upgrade and wanted the robot, to be able to kind of mix and match, doing some custom stuff with rulers, and then go to doing some edge to edge stuff. But cool. Yes, beautiful condition long arm. So we wanted to show that off, and that was the main thing. And like I said, I wasn't gonna lift this thing up the stairs and then not talk about it. All right, Barb, what else do you got?
Well, I don't have anything, but you have some more quilts?
Yeah.
You have some more
What
quilts?
are you gonna give away today?
Oh.
Maybe you can give away a couple of
Oh, nice.
Woo.
Nice.
Pattern,
Let's see here. What time we got? Yeah, I don't know. We're running a little late here. I got a delivery and some other things. So we're going to have to skip out on. Well, actually, let me just show one real fast, because I want to show the 2-cent Modern Meander May. Where did that gingham quilt go? Yeah, did you? I know I had it up here. Please hold.
Please hold.
Right here. Okay. So let's show this one off. We got time for this.
Oh, yes, that one. I like that one.
Yeah. So this is one of the gingham quilts that were super, super popular. You all right there, Barb?
Yep, got it.
Can you get up?
I got it.
Here, your thing might fall there. Okay. So this is a really cool quilt. I love the colors. And this is an example, if Kaylee can get it, of the quilting. This is an example of that 2-cent Modern Meander. And we got a bunch of quilts in. Thank you to everybody who is participating in it. We're still humming along, though. I mean, honestly, everything that's arriving is usually getting done and sent out within a couple weeks. Yeah. So sometimes even sooner. So as you can see, even though it's a 15-inch row, Modern Meander has a natural density to the pattern that doesn't make it look like you just kind of phoned it in or something. You know, it's still good quality density, and it's really perfect for like a actual comforter or something that's going to be used, where maybe you don't want it to be stitched to death. Right. But still a good amount of
we'll keep it together.
Yep. And actually, let me show off the back. because I was very, very proud of the tension of this one. What do we got here?
I'll let you.
There you go. I'll give you a corner.
Okay.
We
All
got
right.
some fuzz here. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to get picked up. It's so challenging to get this sometimes. With the, there she is. She's working her magic.
Yeah.
But we used so this is like a dark charcoal backing, almost black. And then I used a dark gray cotton Orfill in it. And it just looks like the perfect.
tension is great.
Yeah, it looks like the perfect ants marching in a row.
Yeah.
Type.
It's pretty.
Yep.
Pretty.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
So for those of you who haven't heard, we are doing the 2-cent Modern Meander May. Anything that arrives to my doorstep this month, we're going to do this for 2 cents, which is a penny cheaper than anything else we do. So,
Yes.
and we might pick a different pattern for next month. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how this ends up, but really cool. And actually, this is for my mom. She needs to.
Yeah, we had the discussion of, all right, it's my cousin who's having the baby. Then is the baby a
Yeah.
second cousin?
What does that mean?
Or, yeah, we don't know. If you know, let us know.
Okay, any questions before we get out of here? What do you got, Kaylee? Anything? Nope, that's it?
Okay.
Okay,
Well, we have a pattern.
we're going to give away the pattern.
I'm
There.
jealous.
I'll give you one.
All right.
I'll go first. You go second. I'll
Okay.
go last.
All right.
So I got Christine Day. You're a winner.
I have Bridget Betcher. Bridget Betcher. Boettcher. You're a winner.
You're a winner.
Yay.
And then last but certainly not least, I have Betty Bailey. Congratulations. You are a winner. So that concludes this week's episode of Stitch Brothers. It should be just like Stitch Brothers plus Barb and
Barb and
sometimes
Luke, whatever, but yeah.
it's whoever's. Thank you for joining. Did you have anything else, Barb?
Just the usual. Clean and oil your Bernina.